This is part 8 of Federalist number 18. You remember in the last video, in part 7, I read the last 3 paragraphs of the Federalist. One of them is real long, and 2 of them were very short. We had seen that Achaean League had some advantages, and Madison here quotes the French historian that was familiar with history of Greece, saying that because Achaean League had kept some semblance of a good confederacy, it had done better than the rest of the leagues. But Madison says, don't think they did not have any factions within those city-states, within those republics that had united. They had factions, but a league had made them not as bad as they would have been without a league. But then he starts going through a long history of all the things that had happened within those Grecian republics and Grecian leagues. How when Philip of Macedon came in, took advantage of their weaknesses, and then when they realized what had happened, they tried to unite and do better against Philip, but it was too late. Then different factions arose, and some of these city-states decided to side with other leagues. Some of them even went and got the support of Syria and Egypt. So all this chaos was going on between all these city-states, between all these republics of Greece, and they had not built a strong enough of a league to defend them from the enemy, and also they had not put the right frames in the government. There were no checks and balances for them to be able to withstand things that were going inside this republics. The internal chaos. They could not control it because there were no checks and balances. They did not have anything such as separation of powers. And then towards the end, he said they were so weak that constantly fought with one another, that Rome was becoming stronger and found it a good time to come and take advantage of the weaknesses of these republics in Greece and control them. So Rome saw that the best way Rome can rise up and get stronger is to take advantage of the weak republics, weak confederacies in Greece, and gradually master them all. And he says all of this because he wants the states to be aware that if they do not unite under a good federal government, if they stay with their old federal system, then sooner or later war is going to start between these 13 states. And you've got the British, the French, and the Spanish surrounding the United States, and they will take sides. They will take the side of one of the states against the other and encourage these states to fight one another. This way, you'll have weak states, and you will be just dupes of these monarchies. You would be totally controlled by them. You won't have a way to establish great trade.
Handcrafted America, all new Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
You won't have great trade, and that would be chaos. Now, as I'm talking to you, I'm watching one of these episodes of the new TV series Vietnam War, directed by Ken Burns and Lynn Novick. I've told you how much I like Ken Burns' works. It is important for us to see things like this, just episodes of history. For example, in Vietnam, you had the Chinese and Soviet Union backing the Vietnamese just because it was to their advantage to weaken the United States, to help prop up this communist regime, even though Vietnam's issue was not communism, but it was nationalism. So you see all these different powers meddle in different countries' foreign policies. This is an example of something that would have happened to the new states in the United States. You would have had all these strong powers try to meddle in, get in the middle of the young America's affairs. Or look at countries like Syria right now. You've got multiple countries there that are helping different factions, and all that's happening is Syrian people are suffering and the country is getting torn apart. So again, you get, if you're not a strong country, if you're not a united country, there are other people that will come and take advantage of you, whether you're a small state or a big state. And that's what constantly is being brought up in these Federalist Papers, is to remind the Americans back then that if there's division amongst your states, other powers are going to come and take advantage of you, and you will be a weak union, you will be a weak country, and who knows, maybe you'll even be 13 new countries constantly at war with one another. So he says, beware of that. And that's what we got to do. We got to be careful that our small differences on this planet do not make us so blind, and do not darken our hearts so much that we cannot think about uniting humanity. We have to think about that.